One thing many homes across the U.S. and across the world have right now are Christmas trees. But how does the spruce sitting in your living room get from a sapling to being strapped to the top of your car? John Franklin takes us there.
If you've ever looked up Christmas tree farms, you may have noticed that there are a lot across Wisconsin.
They grow well, that's why there's growers, in Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, Pennsylvania's a lot of, North Carolina grows a lot of trees, in Oregon, that area, but it's a lot of, in the Midwest here, a lot of growers.
Growing these trees takes plenty of time and effort.
It takes roughly 13 years to grow a Christmas tree. Some say 10, you can get some smaller trees, and it takes up to maybe 15 years for the real big, bigger size ones. It depends on the moisture and what happens with the rainfall and the temperatures, and every year is different, of course. Every year I try to plant, because like this last year I lost at least half of my trees I planted, where you need, the next year maybe a lot of them will live.
Brian Waddle, the owner of Brian's Christmas Trees and Pumpkins in Eau Claire, is not the person who initially puts the seed into the ground.
Yeah, I get the trees from when they're, transplants or seedlings, but transplants mainly. They're 3 to 4 years old, and I get them from nurseries, and then plant them, and but the third year you get them up, and you got to keep them mowed, and you got to keep the weeds away, and then you got to fertilize them.
Waddle started his business in the mid-1980s.
Yeah, I got growing pumpkins in high school, and then I got out of high school and gradually got into growing Christmas trees, and liked to do that. And I started growing my first trees and selling trees in 1985.
Waddle has spent his entire adult life in a business that takes time to grow.
It's somebody starting from scratch. I mean, you're looking at 10, 12 years before you're going to make one dime back. So it's a long-term investment, and then with a lot of, work and startup costs, and land's expensive, trees, getting labor and whatnot. But there's a lot of people that want to try it, and it can be done.
For News 18, I'm John Franklin.
John, I am jealous of how good it must have smelled out there doing that story. If you are new to the world of real Christmas trees, we have plenty of information on WQW on how to keep your tree happy and healthy if this is the year you're thinking of starting. If you do still need a tree, Brian's Christmas Trees in Eau Claire sell them at $60 a tree from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.